Hey everyone, this is Judy with JLBCrafts. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. In this video, I'm going to be setting up and hand lettering the week of January 17th through the 23rd in my Big Lovely Letters planner, following of course my challenge, the Big Love Letters Challenge. And we are on letter I week. So we get to learn a lot of vowels, and then we can do lots of different words as we add the consonants. So the theme I'm going with this week is brought to us by A to Z Planner Themes 2022, and it is Winter Florals. And so you're probably thinking I'm going to do blue again, but I'm actually not. I went through all my winter floral books. I have Posh Winter, Amber Plans Her Day Winter, and kellofaplan Winter Florals, and these pink and gray ones have snowflakes in them, gray snowflakes. So I am going to use these, and then we'll pick a bunch of pink and gray pens. I think it'll be fun. So winter florals with snowflakes in pink and gray. Feel free to fast forward. Oh, and there's pink snowflakes too. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Oh, and here is the Simply Gilded washi tape I chose, pink, but I picked this one. I have several different Simply Gilded pink washi tapes. I chose this one because it's actually got hot pink and silver foil, and I thought that was pretty darn cool. So let's go ahead and put this on the edges, and then I'll decorate down the middle and across the top, and we'll go from there. Alright, there we go. I stayed away from the yellow and this kind of tan colored gray because I don't think there's enough in there for me to pick those colors of pens. So I want to kind of stick with what might be in the pen colors. And then for assignments, so on Monday the 17th, we're going to go back and do, so we're done with the drills, but I would encourage you to warm up by doing some drills down in this area. That's what I'm going to do today. And then we're going to go back, we'll start by doing last week's letter, which was the letter E. And then we're going to learn our new letter, the letter I. And then we're going to get right into words so that we have plenty of opportunity to cycle through all the letters that we've learned so far and make sure that they stay fresh. So we're going to start with an I, our new letter I, at the beginning of a word. So we're going to go with ice. And then we're going to go to a word where the new letter I is at the end, which is koi. I'm not sure that that's a real word because I think koi as in the fish is with a K. Friday the 21st, we're going to go with CIE. So the I is in the middle. Again, we're still doing some made up words at this point because I want to get the letters in the right positions to do all the permutations that we could see. The 22nd, we're going to go ahead and do a four-letter word, EICO. And then the last one we're going to do is OICE. So again, just getting, so we've got our I in all the correct places, but then we can get our E at the end, at the beginning. Don't really have an E in the middle, but don't worry, never fear. We have lots of words ahead of us. We will get through all the different variations. So that is it. I am going to pick my pens and zoom in, and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, here are my pens. I'm going to go from stiffest to softest. This is the gray Fudenosuke by Tombow. The Fudenosuke is the type of Tombow pen, so don't be confused with Tombow's dual brush pen. They're both by Tombow, but the Fudenosuke has the small tip that's more conducive to this spacing of lines. Then I have the Zebra Funwari, which is, again, think mild liners are by Zebra as well. And the mild liners do have a brush tip, but it's a very, very big brush tip like the Tombow dual brush pen. So Zebra is the brand, Tombow is the brand, Fudenosuke is the style or the type, and Funwari is the style or type, and those are both Japanese words. Then I have the Calligraph, which basically has the really big brush tip at one end and the same size fine brush tip as the Tombow and the Zebra at the other end. So I'm going to use the gray one of those. And then last but not least, I have one of the Pentel Touch pinks. There are several Pentel Touches. And this is the softest pen, but it's also got really good bounce back or return. So when you push the tip down and it flexes and bends, when you release the pressure and lift the pen, it comes back to center, and that's really important. Some of the more inexpensive brush pens that you can find on Amazon, they don't return to center very well, so you find yourself getting in the habit of spinning the pen every time you use it. So, all right, so for my warm-ups, since we're going to start right away on Monday with a letter, I want to go ahead and warm up. I'm going to warm up with overturn and underturn strokes rather than waves, because I've said to you guys before I don't like the waves. So starting with the Tombow Fudenosuke, I'm going to do half of my line with overturns and half of my lines with underturns. So an overturn is just light up, curve, heavy down. So choking way up on my pen, turning my paper at an angle. Here we go. Moving my hand each time so that I'm not reaching or bending, you know what I mean? So light up, heavy down. Light up, heavy down. All right, and now I'm going to do an underturn, which is the opposite, heavy down, light up. All right, and now I'm going to switch to the Zebra, the Funwari. I'm going to do the same thing. Next, I'm going to start with the small end of the Calligraph, and I'll do one of each with the big end as well. I made those a little skinnier. I could see that I was running out of space. All right, so light up, heavy down, light up. And last but not least is the Pentel Touch. So Pentel makes tons of pens. The Pentel Touch brush sign pen is what this one is. And I just wrote all over my fingers. I think my light's a little too bright as well. Okay, so let's look at the eye. It says, the eye stroke is also the letter I and is used to create these letter formats. So the A is basically an oval stroke with an I stroke attached onto it. We'll find that out. I think that's next week. The T is just a really big I stroke. The U is one of these underturns like we just did, but it includes the I. And then the W is just a series of those all put together. So here, whoops, here we can see we're starting where the dot is. So starting at the center line, coming heavy down, light up. So there you can see the fat, heavy down. So basically the underturn stroke we just did, but only half as tall. And then you put a little dot on it. And you do double tall for the T. So not rocket science, and I can already tell you we're not going to see much variation in that. Basically the only variation is how big to make the tail and how fat to make it. You don't want this to be pointy, you want it to be curved, otherwise it's going to start to look like a V. So the free Tombow downloads for these specific, Fudenosuke calligraphy pens. I always forget when I'm super zoomed in where the center is. Here's the eye. So they're not slanting. They're going straight up and down, which you can do, guys. You don't have to slant just because the book slants. And then they just do a teeny tiny little tail. I prefer slightly larger tails because it makes it easier to connect the letters when they're in the middle of a word, which is part of the reason why I give you a word with the letter in the middle and at the beginning, so that you get, again, I said this last week, so you get used to connecting on both sides. Here is the Rainbow Crayola book. So again, starting at the dot, heavy down, light up. They're again not at a slant. And then the Calligraphy Made Easy book. There is no alternate for the eye. There's just the main eye. And so theirs is more slanted. Oops, there we go. They do have a slant. They start at the midline. And none of them are bringing the tail up as high as the Happy Planner, which comes all the way back up, which I don't really care for that as much. I'll probably come up about a quarter of the way as well, or halfway to the midline. So let's go ahead and bring Monday over here and get started. I'm going to start with the stiffest pen, actually. And we're not even, I shouldn't have even looked at the I yet. I spelled the word letter wrong, I just noticed. We're actually going to start with the E from last week. I forgot about that. So let's review where we were with our E from last week. Here are my E's. And like, again, I always look toward the end at what my E's were. So starting about halfway between, starting about halfway in between the bottom line, the base line, and the middle line, and coming around. And then you can see my tail on my E only comes up about halfway. I'll do the same thing on the I. All right, so let's warm up with our E's. Got my Tombow, choking way up, turning my paper at an angle, starting halfway between baseline and midline, light up, heavy down, light up. Starting far enough over to the left that when my heavy downstroke hits, it closes that gap. Next is the Zebra Funwari. Next we'll start with the small end of the calligraph, and then we'll switch to the big. Switching to the big, and this is going to be double high. So you definitely, when you do something that big, you definitely are glad that you've choked way up on your pen, because it helps you reach as far as you need to go. And then last but not least is the Pentel Touch brush sign pen. All right, so now we'll try the eye. Okay, so I got my Tombow, Fudenosuke, so I'm just gonna start at the midline, heavy down, light up, and just pay attention to where you want your tail to end, and then a dot. And I do use firm pressure for the dot simply because I feel like if I don't, it's gonna be too tiny. See, there's light pressure. You can't even see it. So I do heavy pressure on my dot. Hi, Jasper. We got a ways to go yet, buddy. Got a little ways to go. Come over here, baby. See if I can get him settled looking out the window. I'll be right back, you guys. All right, he's sitting on the edge of my desk. We'll see how long he stays. So choking way up. This is the fine point of the calligraph. Okay, switching to the fat end. So I'm gonna make it double high, which is gonna put my dots up in the row above, but that's okay. And that dot's on a sticker, it's not gonna show up at all. Last but not least is the Zebra brush sign pen. let's try our first word. We're going to start with the I that we just learned. Write the word ice. Choking up, got the angle. Heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up, and then I come back and dot my I. You guys can do that in whatever order you want. I usually go back and dot I's and cross T's at the end of the word. Small end of the cleograph. Okay, let's switch to the fat end and write it one time. Next we're going to switch and put the I at the very end of the word, so you need to think about how you connect to it. So you're going to definitely need the tail on the O to come out far enough to grab it with your heavy down stroke on your I. So let's try it. So our C, light up, heavy down, light up. Now we're going to do our O. For me, I start with on the left side for the O. So I basically start about where I end. Heavy down, light up, heavy down and around. And it should be pretty easy to grab the very tip of that tail with your eye. So heavy down, light up. There we go. So I just want to stop for a sec and point out that I changed as I came across this row how low I dip when I come out of the O. And it occurred to me that there was a significant lesson learned last year. One of the most common, well, not a very common connection in the English language is the O to R, or. That's in actually a lot of words. And when you do the R connection, it looks more like an R if you come down very low. So I try to keep in the habit of coming out of the O low, so there's not another special thing I need to remember when I have that one combination, the OR combination. So just a lesson learned from having been through this once already. The OR combination is difficult, but it looks better if you come down low out of your O to go up into your R. And we're not going to learn the R for a while, so you just have to either, you can flip ahead in the book, or you can Google it, or you can, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to let me see if I can find that. I'll be right back, you guys. So we're not actually going to learn the R. It's one of the last lowercase letters we learn. We don't learn it until the second week in June. But here you can see the OR connection. So when I'm coming out of my O really high, that whole section of the R is missing, and it looks just a little bit funny. So you can imagine if you came out of your O much lower, see how funny that looks? And my R's needed a lot of work still at this point. But if you come out of the O much lower, that R is going to look better. So just a little preview, a little FYI. Try, as you're deciding what you want your O to look like, think about that connection that's coming and try not to set yourself up to have a special thing that you need to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to try to keep coming out of my O low. Okay, big end. Jazzy. Just passing through. Okay, we are more than halfway done now, you guys. So next we're going to put the I in the middle. We had it at the beginning and at the end. So no big deal putting it in the middle because we've connected to both sides now. So again, a little bit of a made-up word here, but those won't be here for too much longer. So C-I-E. So choking up, light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up, light up, heavy down, light up, dot. There we go. I was gonna try to squeeze one more in there, but you guys, I don't want it to force me to change the shapes and sizes of my letters, so better, I think, not even to try it. You're not gonna let mommy finish, are you? You are not gonna let mommy finish. You wanna try sitting on my lap again? All right, he's on my lap. I'm reaching, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, you guys, he just bit the corner of my page and tried to grab it. All right, let's try our first four-letter word, Ico. And he just jumped down. Okay, he doesn't like the sound of my voice. It's too loud right above his head, so. Okay. Starting halfway in between. Light up, heavy down, light up. Heavy down, light up. Light up, heavy down, light up. Heavy down, light up, heavy down and around and light. So that O, you guys, don't be frustrated if your O's look off. It took a long time. There's a lot of pressure changes in an O, a lot of pressure changes. You've got a heavy, a light, a heavy, and then midway through this curl, you need to start getting light again, and you're trying to remember to come out down low and. So the O's take a while. They're more complex than you would think. So don't be frustrated. Ooh, I almost forgot to switch to the fat end, you guys. The edge of this sticker comes clear over here. Excellent. All right, one word to go. Well, word, I say. O-I-C-E. So again, just trying to use lots of different combinations of the few letters that we know. We'll get more recognizable words next month. So, carefully picking my starting point. Heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up. Light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up, dot my I. Voice, I guess. Or voice, actually, without the V, so this is not lost, this is useful. So I did see a few comments about people not liking their O's last week or 2 weeks ago. So if that happens, you guys, just grab another sheet of paper, any old paper, steal a piece of your kid's school paper, just use 2 lines together and you'll still get the same effect, okay? Or if you've got another horizontal planner, whatever you have, just use a couple lines together and you're good to go. There are also free downloadable, lots and lots of free downloadable lettering sheets. Baker Lane Studios did one specifically for us. We measured the lines and they're the exact same spacing as these. So you can download those and print them out. You can print out free lined practice paper from Tombow as well. So lots of options. Just do pages full of O's. Play some music, light a candle, put the kids to bed, or the cats, and you'll be good to go. So, all right, so here is last year's practice, and back then you can see I was going back a couple weeks for letters. I'm refining the method now, so not quite as much repeat anymore, but here is my word ice last year versus ice this year. So definitely seeing some improvement. I hope you are as well. You should be starting to become just a little more natural, the light ups and the heavy downs. If you've stayed with me so far, here you can see I did some more O practice because I just really didn't like my O. And you can see here, you guys, you can see I did heavy down, light up, and I did not yet have the hang of the second heavy down coming around this the little circle at the top. So they look bad. I mean, they look really bad. I was starting to get it here. You can see the second heavy as I come down and around, but guys, it took a while for me to get my O, so don't be frustrated. Here we have ice a year ago and ice this year. It definitely looks better to me. Definitely. So this is the improvement you can see coming down the road for you guys if you stick with it. So I hope you like this video. I hope it encourages you to keep going. Don't worry if you fall behind. The videos aren't going anywhere, and just don't try to do too much. Don't try to squeeze 2 or 3 weeks into a session. Go until your arm gets tired. Go until the cats or the kids interrupt you, and just, you know, pick it back up when you can. So I hope you like this video. If you do, please help me continue helping me spread the word. Please continue posting on Instagram. I love seeing your practice, and when I can, I throw them into my stories so everybody else can see. If you do like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.